One thing I've learned over the years, which has brought me great success, is to change the interpretation and you will change your motivation. Now you're probably thinking, easier said than done, and you could be right, especially if you are super attached to the stories and the narratives and the beliefs which you have made real. That's when you have to ask yourself, how's that going for me? What I am going to start doing every week is a longer form video, more focused on education. I've almost achieved my goal of dropping one video a day, every day for 2023, which I created so I can start getting used to talking to the camera. And now it's time to start freestyling direct to the camera. No props, no special effects, no editing, just speaking as it is, mistakes and all. I'll leave the fancy stuff for the shorter videos. So let's get into it. How is being attached to all your BS going for you? The belief systems, the stories you keep telling yourself. By being committed yet not attached, it has allowed for me the flexibility of thinking and the ability to see things differently, enabling me to then do things differently in a way which removes the stuckiness and into a place of opportunity. If something's not working, change the meaning. Change the meaning and you change the thinking. Change the thinking and new behaviors will follow, and then things change. What I'm going to do is share 10 real life examples with a short story attached to each one, showing how by switching the interpretation gave me a whole different direction towards success. So let's start with number one of switch the interpretation and switch the motivation. We're starting with number one, which is failure as a learning opportunity. Now, the original interpretation could be seeing failure as a sign of personal inadequacy. The changed interpretation could be viewing failure as a valuable learning opportunity and a stepping stone towards improvement. Now, the resulting motivation could be taking risks, experimenting. Now, of course, I don't mean stupid risks and stupid experiments. Ones where you know it's simply your own fears which are in the way. Learn what doesn't work so you can get clearer on what does. So for me, I've got no fancy education qualifications behind me. Business was the only opportunity because the thought of employment was stifling from when I was very young. I could write a series of books on the failures I experienced while growing the construction company I did across 3 cities and leading almost 1,500 people over that time. If I wasn't failing on that journey, it meant I wasn't taking enough risks. I wasn't learning enough. I had to be motivated to start embracing the challenges, taking risks and persisting through the setbacks with the understanding that each so-called failure brings valuable lessons which open up opportunities to gain range and increase resilience. All of this just increases capacity. If you are too risk averse, you aren't experimenting. So, as they say, trust the science and view life as the grandest experiment of all. Number 2, job or career dissatisfaction. So, in this, the original interpretation could be interpreting dissatisfaction at work as a perpetual source of your misery and your unhappiness. And the change interpretation, recognize dissatisfaction as a signal for career reassessment and potential redirection. And with that, the resulting motivation could be, or for me, it was like I would never be in a job I didn't like. At minimum, it's a third of my day, and it made no sense to spend that time miserable, prostituting myself for money. I started working from 9 years old in the family business, and I had almost 20 different jobs before I finished school at 18 years old. From very young, I learnt what I liked and what I didn't like, learnt what I wanted and what I didn't want. And in all that, I then learnt what I further needed to learn from both what I wanted and what I liked to make myself better. Your motivation could be seeking opportunities for professional development, skill enhancement, or exploring alternative career paths which are aligned with what you want to do. On that, check out our Career Catalysts program, which will definitely motivate you and give you lots of clarity. Number 3, change the interpretation, change the motivation. What do we got? We got feedback in the workplace. Now, the original interpretation could be receiving constructive criticism as a personal attack or a threat to your competence. Changed interpretation. Perceiving feedback as a means for professional growth and a chance to enhance your skills. And the result in motivation? For me, I couldn't become what I was becoming if I was not being challenged by those who were assisting and guiding me to help me get to where I wanted to go. I would actively seek feedback. A lot of the times I didn't like it. However, I was learning from the input and continuously striving for self-improvement to become better. Know that feedback is just feedback, simply a shared observation from somebody else. It's not all relevant. However, it's all an interesting perspective. Pocket what is not aligned, then take on what you know will move you forward. Because who knows, you could one day be dealing with a person just like the one offering you the feedback, so you can pull it out in the future and use it as leverage. Number four, we have financial challenges. Now, the original interpretation could be viewing financial difficulties as insurmountable obstacles leading to despair. Changed interpretation, seeing financial challenges as opportunities to develop budgeting skills and financial resilience. Great asset to have in life. The result in motivation. I have it that an empty bank account fuels a dream. Believe me, I lived it. Now, in my mid-20s, I couldn't catch a bus home. I remember the time. And I had to walk almost 10 kilometers home in the freezing driving rain. It was the most dissatisfaction I had in that moment for a long time, which fueled the motivation. And I created unreasonable goals which I achieved at 40, where I'm now in a position to do what I want to do whenever I want. So be motivated to take proactive steps to improve financial literacy, budgeting and saving for the future stability of yourself. I was in no position back then to create those goals, but I still done it. Number 5, time management. Original interpretation could be perceiving a lack of time as a constant barrier to pursuing personal goals. Changed interpretation. Seeing time as a valuable resource that can be managed effectively with prioritization and organization. The result in motivation. For me, I love creating deadlines. I need them to be short and I need there to be severe consequences. Otherwise, I won't complete things on time. This is my motivation. We always have time for what's important for us. All of us. So there are strategies which you can implement for these. So implementing time management strategies which you know work will motivate you to set clear priorities and work towards achieving personal and professional aspirations. Find a way of kind of punishing yourself if you do not. Not too harsh. Number 6, we're moving on this side. Educational setbacks, original interpretation. It could be interpreting academic setbacks as indicators of incompetence. Now, the change interpretation could be viewing educational challenges as chances for growth, resilience, and the development of problem-solving skills. And the result in motivation? Well, this one's a big one for me because I failed terribly at school. So over the years, I heavily invested in things like seminars, coaches, conferences, programs, all which offered me things school or university never would. All experiences. Over the years, I've been called crazy for wasting the amount of money I have on this alternative education. Funnily enough, the people who call me crazy are some of the most miserable people I know, dissatisfied, hate what they do. While I created more freedom and leverage than most would ever dream about. So approach education difficulties with this learner frame of mind. Be motivated to seek help when needed and persist through challenges with a focus on continuous learning while being committed yet not attached. Figure out your learning style, how you best learn. Number 7, physical exercise. The original interpretation could be viewing exercise as a tedious chore or a punishment for poor health. Changed interpretation. Well, have fun. Seeing physical activity as a means to boost energy, improve your mood, and enhance overall well-being. The result in motivation. Now, for me, it's about making it a hobby and having fun. It's an opportunity to catch up with a mate or two and prod each other on. Really just tease each other into it, really. Find the enjoyment in moving. Making exercise a new hobby and a regular part of a healthy lifestyle and an opportunity to meet new people. I've made great friends moving around from different environments because we're all in the same thing. So you're going to be motivated to create this environmental change which injects your day with a buzz. What a way to start it. Number 8, as we move into it, challenges in personal relationships. The original interpretation could be viewing conflicts in relationships as insurmountable obstacles or signs of incompatibility. Changed interpretation. It could be seeing conflicts as opportunities for communication, understanding, and growth. Result in motivation. Now, I'm Greek. That's my background. I'm passionate, bold, and expressive. I love drama and chaos. I was raised in it. My wife, on the other hand, she's the total opposite. And over the past 20 years, balance came in being motivated to engage in open and constructive conversations. A lot of them quite fiery. So we can strengthen the relationship while still keeping it real. So learn to view challenges as chances for mutual understanding, continual learning, and connection. Don't just poke each other. Support each other through the poke. Finger poke. Anyway, number 9. Networking events or social gatherings. Now, original interpretation, they could be seen as uncomfortable and anxiety-inducing. Changed interpretation, seeing social interactions as opportunities to connect, learn, and build meaningful relationships. The result in motivation. Now, most people would not believe this. Most people around me in my life. However, if I was to label myself, I'm more of an introvert than extrovert. I don't like a lot of people, especially the cappuccino conversation types. So building what I'm now building has motivated me to actively participate in networking events, engage in conversations, and also lead small talk into the deeper waters. So be motivated to cultivate a strong professional and social network. Number 10, the last one on the list of change the interpretation, change the motivation, public speaking. Original interpretation, seeing public speaking as a terrifying experience and a threat to personal image. Change interpretation. Viewing public speaking as an opportunity to share knowledge, connect with an audience, and build communication skills. Result in motivation. Funny story. Many moons ago, I paid $5,000 to have my wedding videographed. And after all these years, I never went back to get it. Don't have a video of my wedding. Why? Because my speech was so terribly bad that I'm embarrassed thinking about it. What it did was motivate me to never get caught with a microphone in my hand again unprepared and to not be able to just speak off the cuff. And now I believe I'm a great communicator in my own way. So be the person who is embracing public speaking opportunities, seeking to improve communication abilities, and finding fulfillment in effectively conveying ideas. Go and talk about solving problems. Now, that's the end of the 10 interpretations which you can switch to create a motivation. I have a whole list of more. However, I wanted to stick with the ones I thought are the 10 most common. If there's one I missed which you would like to hear, let me know in the comments, because I really have fun doing this and I want to start doing it more and more. So it's almost certain I have a personal experience or a story which will relate. Like I said at the top, there is a thinking, a behavioral, and an emotional change which has to want to happen for you. If something's not working, change the meaning, you change the thinking, and new behaviors will follow. Lastly, take what you will,